The Day of the Dead Festival is in full swing and the Malecon is fully decorated. So we're in the Malecon sort of amphitheater here. The arches, los arcos. And this is what it looks like from the opposite side of the arches. You've got these large dogs, and in between them, and right in front of the arches, you got this large reclining Katrina. So the statues or Katrinas here are all basically built by the local establishments, the businesses in the downtown mostly, and hotels and restaurants, but there are a few clubs as well. They put their names out front, and it's all part of inviting the tourists down to the Malecon to enjoy themselves. But it's fun to see during the day, and also they're all lit up at night, and that's a great time to see them as well. And from one end of the Malecon to the other, you can find these Katrinas here, and some of them are incredibly well done and very well decorated. So Puerto Vallarta is famous for constructing one of the largest, if not the largest, Catrina in the world. They have a world record for that. I believe it's still standing, and that they've done it once again, and that's at the other end of the Malecon, and I'll show you that about halfway through this video.
Yeah, I think business is really deep in
So the Day of the Dead Festival normally ends with its highlight, the parade, which runs in Puerto Vallarta on November the 2nd. But don't worry if you want to see these. The citizenry generally leave them up for a week or two after the parade or festival is ended. So you'll still have a chance to see these if you're here till about the middle of the month of November. So somebody's even got the whales involved. Puerto Vallarta, the Bay of Banderas, is famous for whale watching. Humpback whales are already in the bay. I've already seen some in November. And peak whale watching season is from January through February, although you'll see whales anywhere from October all the way through April in the bay. And this is what everybody wants to see. I'm not sure if it's a world record, but at one point Puerto Vallarta had the tallest lady here, Catrina, in the world. And this one looks to be just as high. And I mean by that, just as high as the ones I've had the last few years. And every year they dress them up differently, but they have the same dog as they had last year. Every year, Puerto Vallarta seems to add something new into the decorations. A few years ago, it was all the skulls. A few still remain in this year's decorations. But this year, they've added in these mythological little creatures here. I'm not sure what they represent, but they're all along the first part of the Malecon. This is an owl here sitting on a seashell, and there's lots more like this. And most of them have themes of butterflies, which seems to be emblematic of also the Day of the Dead. I'm really curious to see if they're going to be leaving these on the Malecon throughout the whole season, or if they're going to be removed in a couple of weeks after the Day of the Dead festival is over. I hope they remain there because they are really gorgeous. So this one here looks like a combination of deer and fox, a foxtail. Interesting antlers on it as well. But the other thing I want to point out here is the section where they have all the nightclubs. They've also been decorated. They always had some fancy decoration to begin with, but now they've included these pumpkins and goblins or ghouls that give it a real Halloween feel to it, or Day of the Dead feel, I guess, because we're in Mexico and that's what the celebration is all about. Now, traditionally, Mexicans do not celebrate Halloween, but I must say it must be catching on, because on October 31st, we were along the Malecon handing out candy, and there was lots of kids there collecting it with their pumpkins, and they all were thanking us and saying Happy Halloween. So potentially a tradition that has started, or at least is common in Canada and the USA, is starting to take hold in Puerto Vallarta as well. Fish appendages. Really sharp. So my understanding is Day of the Dead has some indigenous heritage to it, so perhaps these statues here have some meaning or representation there. This one was particularly interesting. It looked like a cat or some sort of leopard, but it all had bat wings rather than the traditional butterfly wings we've been seeing elsewhere. And then this one was totally different. I think this is a type of creature that you can actually see something like that in some of the streams here, the freshwater streams. I was told that they can catch them there. Not that common, but I've seen them in a few aquariums. Anyways, I think that was the last sort of mythological statue here at the start of the Malecon, but right next to the Rosita Hotel, which is traditionally the start of the Malecon, they had another Katrina here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. But before we leave, I'll just take you back to the Los Arcos and the City Hall, because around City Hall, around the building itself, the citizens, and I'm not sure how they select them, build these remembrances. So they show a picture of a departed person from the family, or multiple people in the family that have left us. They decorate it with foods and grains, some marigolds, and this is all to celebrate the spirits of the individuals that have left us, or left them, I should say. Now, what I found curious this year is that there was quite a few places that were set up to remember pets, like this one right here. They got food out, dog food and cat food. And pictures. Very nice. This one's dedicated to Frida, the famous artist. It's like the university. And we'll go on the Malecon again.